Hello, everybody, and welcome to Time Banking Tales, a Storybank. My name is BJ Andryusky, founder of St. Pete Time Bank, and our special guest today from Portland, Maine, the Hour Exchange in Portland, is Sarah Braik. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Welcome to our little video here. So, without any crazy stuff beforehand, let's go ahead and delve into this. And I would love if you could tell people, who is Sarah Braik? What do you want to share with us?
So I am retired after having a lifetime of kind of Jill of all trades. I've worked in the mental health field. I've worked in restaurants. I've worked in offices. I've delivered flowers. I've done all kinds of interesting things. But since I retired, I've been mostly volunteering. And I'm busier than I was before I retired.
Isn't that funny?
I am a co-leader of the Portland chapter of Citizens Climate Lobby. We work on federal lobbying for federal climate legislation.
Oh.
I'm a member of an Episcopal women's organization, the Society of the Companions of the Holy Cross. And we have a retreat center in Massachusetts, and we're all about being hospitality. And so this summer, I'm coordinating all the volunteer hostesses. And I am board president of Hour Exchange Portland, our local time bank.
Okay.
And that is, well, I love all the things that I do.
Yes.
The time bank, I think, is the most, in some ways, it's the most interesting and the most rewarding and the most surprising.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
so
I'm
how
always
did you
finding,
go ahead.
Oh, I'm always finding people who have interesting ideas or can do interesting things. And like from day to day, I never know what to expect. I monitor our emails, and sometimes I get just the most interesting emails.
How did you get in to be the president? Have you always been that, or is that a recent?
No, I joined Hour Exchange about 6 years ago when I moved to Portland. It was one of the first things I did. I knew about it. Actually, years ago, I had applied for a job as the coordinator. That's a long story. I didn't get it. I had to drop out.
Oh,
because of other circumstances. But
gotcha.
And so about a week after I joined, I received a phone call from the Hour Exchange then board president saying, "It looks like you have the skills needed to be on our board, and particularly to be the board secretary." So I went in and for an interview, and they took me on, and I was the secretary for a year, maybe. Okay. And then I became vice president, and then very quickly I became president.
Nice. I knew you were heavily involved, but I didn't know you were president. So that's kind of cool because I see you around in the time banking world, you know? So that's pretty cool. So how did you find out about time banking to begin with? You said you already knew that they existed.
It was when I was working in the mental health field, and I was getting a little burnt out working with adults with mental illness, and I wanted some kind of position that would kind of give me a broader scope, enable me to work with a broader cross section of people. Mm-hmm. And there was an advertisement in the newspaper. That's how I learned about it.
Wow. Because you said when you moved to Portland, so did you live in Maine and you just moved to
I had lived in Portland.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sorry, in Maine for maybe 25 years. I think I've lived in Maine for about 25 years.
Oh my.
So this was a number of years ago when I was living in some town nearby. I don't remember.
Yeah. And they put an ad in the paper. Wow, that's cool. That's cool. I always love to hear how people get involved with time banking or how they find out about it, because there's some really strange ways that people find out about time banking. But I know in the mental health field, or at least in the medical field, I know that there are a few time banks that are in and around the medical field. And so I would think, like you said, having been in the mental health field, it kind of broadens the cross-section of people that you deal with quite a bit. So any story that you would like to share with us, either about being president or about particular time bank exchanges, one of your favorites, something that comes to mind, anything you want to share?
There are lots of them, but I
Yeah.
will start with my very first exchange when I first joined. It
Oh my.
was November. It was getting cold and dark.
In Maine, very, very cold.
And another Time Bank member asked me if I'd be willing to help her with organizing things in her apartment. And she was very ill with cancer. She had just had some kind of serious abdominal surgery, and she wasn't very mobile and couldn't lift anything. So I went over and I helped her sort out mail, sort out laundry, and we just had the most fascinating conversation. She was really an interesting person. And then I went again, maybe 2 weeks later, and I think she had another person there also. And we were working together on doing some other organizational sorting stuff, sorting out laundry and things to give away. And then I was supposed to go back 2 weeks after that. And she was supposed to email me to set up a time and a day. And I didn't hear from her. And I kept on trying to contact her. And finally, I think I saw an obituary in the paper.
Oh.
Or somehow I found out that she had died right around the time that I was supposed to go back, right around Christmas time. It was so sad.
Yeah, that would be a hard way to find out, too.
Yeah. It's happened a couple times that I've opened up the paper and there was a Time Bank member in the obituary section. Yeah.
Wow. But I think it's neat how you said that it was just a pretty simple exchange, but how interesting the other party was of the exchange. That's one of the things that I find fascinating about time banking is, I think I'm just going to go pull weeds or I'm going to go help sort out a closet or whatever. And I find this rich relationship with somebody that I would have never had if I wasn't time banking.
Exactly.
And as president, are you involved with onboarding the new members at all, or is it more the administration of the business?
I'm involved a little bit in all sorts of things. I am the Zoom host for the orientations. We have a couple of orientation leaders. I do lead an orientation maybe every 3 months or so.
Okay.
Which I love. I love meeting new members and finding out something about them and what kinds of things they can do and what kind of things they might need and encouraging them to think kind of outside of the box.
Yes. Explain that to people who might not know what you're talking about.
Well, I think people have think that they have to be like really skilled and really an expert at something in order to offer it to others. And that's really not true. If you want to offer legal advice to somebody, I think you better be a lawyer. But
right.
For a lot of things, Time Bank members aren't necessarily looking for a state-of-the-art expert. And same thing, even more rewarding, I think, is helping them figure out what kind of services they might want to receive. Because often people think, well, this is what I need. And they feel bad about asking for something they don't need.
Do you find that
sometimes the most fun exchanges?
Do you find that it's a big part of your job to just re-educate people about time banking in that respect?
It's been a part of my job.
Yeah. Because I think, for me anyway, I think a lot of people think time banking, like you said, it's a need. What do I need? And I really don't have anything that I need, or it's difficult to ask for help. And I find a lot of times that we have to educate them that it's like, hey, there's nothing wrong with saying, I want somebody to do this.
Yeah, I do this when I do orientations, because sometimes we have new members who join the Time Bank because they want to volunteer.
Yes.
And I've had new members say, well, I just want to do things for other people. I don't need anyone to do anything for me.
Right. Because that's below us.
So it's a mindset. It's a very, cultural mindset that we really have to work against,
Yeah, that it takes a lot of education. That reciprocity piece, it's like, no, we both give and receive. Yeah, and it's sometimes it's
Exactly.
just tough to get it across, So,
Mhm.
and that's part of what sets time banking apart from volunteering, because volunteers just give, 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 give. And one of the videos that I watched early on, I think it was out of Long Beach, California, they said that a one-way flow of resources is not often sustainable, and that stuck with me.
No, it's not.
That
Yeah.
stuck with me. So, any other stories?
Well, I want to show you these earrings. They are
Oh,
pen nibs. Can you see that?
oh, yes.
I got these at our annual, or at least before COVID, it was annual. We had a little
Yes,
glitch or a blip around COVID, but
a blip.
annual holiday bazaar.
I hear about that from people. I really do. And I'm in Florida. So you've got quite a reputation there with your bazaar. Tell us about it.
Well, it's awesome. It takes months to plan.
I can imagine.
We hold it at one of our members is a church. We hold it in the church basement, and we have members who are crafters or who make things or who are artists or maybe you want to sell for time dollars gift certificates to their services. Members who bake, members who make essential oils, and they kind of rent tables or half tables,
Okay.
and they set up their display. And members come in and purchase things for time dollars. We also invite. It's also a kind of a small, modest fundraiser, but that's the most fun part of the bazaar. I think is the food.
Yeah.
We have members who cook
Yes.
and bring in their main dishes or soups or cookies or breads or salads or whatever.
Mm,
And we sell it as a cash lunch, cheap. And we also invite the public.
nice.
They can come in and just have a really good lunch. And we also, the last 2 years, we held the bazaar. We gave people, members of the public who signed up on the spot. I had my laptop there. They could join. We would give them 2 complimentary time dollars to spend on items.
Nice.
Yeah, and
Oh, that's a really nice idea.
entertainment. We've had small, like acoustic bands. We've had an accordion player. We had
For time credits?
for time credits, yeah, and we had a living statue
Oh,
who
nice.
stood on a plinth, and she's a trapeze artist,
Oh,
and so she was dressed like a Greek goddess in this kind of flowing chiton, and her skin was all had gold glitter, and she stood on this plinth. And every once in a while, she changed position, but you had to look really closely to figure out that she was actually a living, breathing person.
oh my goodness.
And we invite people to wear costumes.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, not a lot of people feel comfortable wearing costumes when it's not Halloween.
Yeah, true.
We did have a couple.
Cool. That sounds absolutely fun. I remember often, very, very often, the late Dr. Marie Nelson from Tampa Bay Time Bank saying, if it's not fun, it's not sustainable. And that just sounds fun. If it weren't so cold in Maine, I might come up for it. But it's cold in December in Maine, right? It's really cold.
Yeah. But Edgar Kahn, I just learned this, that he said that one of the roles of time banks is making mischief.
Yes, yes.
So we're really looking at that.
It's kind of like, what they call now, I've heard it many times, good trouble. Let's get into some good trouble. Yeah, let's get into some good trouble. So I'm glad you shared that with the world. I'm going to have to make sure to show this video before it gets released to the board of St. Pete Time Bank and go, look, let's do this. It sounds wonderful. We'll give Portland, our Exchange Portland, some credit for it. So speaking of which, if anybody wants to join Sarah in Maine, please go to www.Hourexchange Portland, the website, and take a look and click on the join tab. And I'm sure that you'll be meeting with Sarah or some of her other folks at some point. I'll leave that up there in case anybody wants to take a look. So we're at about 14 minutes. I try to keep these at 15 or so. And the last question I have to ask you is if you had a message for time bankers, either there in Maine or the nationwide, or even, we've just come off of International Time Banking Day. And so I don't know how many countries involved with time banking. What message would you have for time bankers?
Have fun. Go to look at the list of offers of people who are offering services and pick something that you would never ordinarily get, like a massage or something that you wouldn't normally think of.
And treat yourself. That's awesome.
Yes, exactly.
That is absolutely awesome. Well, Sarah, thank you for your time today. Again, I'm BJ Andryusky, and this is the Time Banking Tales, a Storybank, video anthologies of time bankers' stories. And I thank you so much for coming on today. I know we had a little difficulty because of my internet issues and getting you on here. And I'm glad I got your video down for posterity. So thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.